I have already wasted a lot of your time. So should we start, guys, everyone? Yes or no? Should we start now? Right? Right, everyone. With same energy, I'm so sorry for the day that my camera is not working. I understand that this can be one of the problematic thing. I should be taking care of this, but again, sometimes there are few things not in my hand. So please forgive me this time. And at later stage, I will just see how things move ahead. But now, let me share my screen and then we will start with. So let's say I will just share my screen. Is my screen visible, guys? Quickly let me know. My screen should be visible. Yes or no, everyone? Is my screen visible? Right? Very good. My screen is not visible, is it? Screen. Is my screen visible now? Is my screen visible now? Quickly. Still, guys, my screen is not visible. What is happening today? Is my screen visible now? Mm, just a second. Is my screen visible now, guys? Quickly. Yes or no? Very good. Finally. Sorry. I am so sorry, guys. I am so sorry. I can understand the frustration. Uh, let's not get into the trap of, let's not get into the trap of camera. So let's start with the things today's class. So we'll start with today's class and let's see what we are going to study. So let's move ahead. So guys, today, as you guys are seeing, so today I have wasted your first, let's say 20 to 25 minutes. So obviously now the class will be extended beyond 9. So please be ready for that, right? Hopefully you guys will be ready for that, so you won't mind extending the class. So let's start now. Let's start. And today anyway, this is going to be a very easy class because all of the tough concepts we have already seen. So let's start, guys. Let's start with the full energy, everything. So we are going to rock today. Be positive. So let's start, guys. So now, first of all, I will start with the as usual things that we discuss every day. What we have seen till now. What we have seen till now, guys, agenda. Let me see how many of you can answer this. What we have seen till now. Quickly, guys, everyone. Quickly. Everyone has to be very active in the class. Otherwise, I will make sure that you guys are forced to have a battle with Manjolika. So she will kill you. So you have to be very, very active in the class. So let's start, guys, with this very PJ, very bad joke. Let's start today's class. So what is the agenda? Not agenda. What we have seen till now. Recap. So what we have seen till now, guys, everyone. So can I say, right, after basics of Python, in the advanced concept, we have studied OOPS. In OOPS, we have seen all the things of OOPS. So this class, then we have seen objects, then we have seen polymorphism, then we have seen inheritance, right? Inheritance, right? Then we have seen encapsulation. Encapsulation, right? And then we also, very good, Adeline, data structure, very good. After that, we have also seen about decorators, right? So we have seen till now. Quickly, guys, everyone. Ataneska, I am seeing you after a long time. Where were you, Ataneska? Jyoti is also there today in the class. Kinsok, Adeline. Okay, Adeline is already there. Ada is not there in the class. Sajil, Sada, Asraf, very good. Kiran, all of these are active students. Rajkumar, active students. Vipan has also now. Rishabh has also joined. Very good. Right, right. So let's start this. Right. So we are going to start with, first of all, in no interview questions will be there in the last. But as of now, right, what were the last interview questions that we had discussed? What is a property decorator? Can we delete, a method from outside the class? Can you introduce a new method inside the class? So those were the interview questions that we had discussed in the last class. Now, what is the agenda of this class? This is going to be fun. Agenda of this class. Agenda of this class. What is the agenda of this class? The first thing, this is very, very important. So we are going to today see namespaces. Namespaces. What are local variables? What are the global variables? What are the built-in? What are the enclosing? So we are going to see all of the namespaces first. Then we are going to start with file handling. So how to handle the files, we are going to look after that. Then we are going to look after a very, very important concept that is called logging. And these concepts are actually very, very important. And then, if time permits, today we are going to see exception handling, and then, right, memory management. Obviously, I know my teaching style. I don't think I will be able to reach till here, but let's set a realistic target to at least complete till logging, right? So this would be the idea of today's lecture. Everyone is on the same page. Anyone has any doubts so far? Quickly. Anyone has any doubts so far? Quickly, everyone. Anyone has any doubts? Right? No doubts? Very good. Now here I will make a folder. I will make this folder. So let's say here logging. For logging, I am making this folder, but also this will be for namespaces. Why I'm making this folder, you will get to understand, you will understand the importance at later stage, but this is the folder I am going to make it. So let's say this is your namespace logging, and inside this today we are going to have our Jupyter notebook. So this is our Jupyter notebook. So have I started the recording of the class? Yes, class is being recorded. Very good, not a problem. So let's start, guys. Now let's start with the namespaces. What is namespaces? So basically, I will be very honest with you guys. So basically, this concept is actually not taught much by other people, right? It is actually not taught, it is actually ignored. It is ignored. This concept is ignored. But believe me, if you want to work for a role like applied scientist, some very advanced role, then you should be knowing this particular concept. Right? Right. What is a namespace? Right. So a namespace, I will just define first. What is a namespace? So namespace meaning, right? If you see this word, this is name plus spaces. So what is the meaning of this name plus spaces? So let's say I am saying Sada. Sada is a name. So can I say Sada is taking some space in his house, maybe one room? Yes or no? Yes or no? So can I say that house or that room is holding Sada? Yes or no? Simple thing, right? Similarly, here also is space. What is space? That holds name. And in Python, what is a name? Name is nothing but a identifier. What is identifier? Any name. That is the variable name, that is a function name, that is blah blah blah. Anything in Python is identifier. Easy? Easy to understand? Should I repeat it again? Very easy. Let's say Sada is a person. Can I say Sada lives in a room in his house? So can I say room holds Sada? Because room is a space where Sada lives. That's why I say room holds Sada. Similarly, here space that holds name is called as name spaces. Is it clear? Is it clear? Everyone? Yes or no? Yes or no, everyone? I want to hear yes from everyone. Rishabh says no, sir. Very good, Rishabh. Not a problem. Whenever Rishabh says no, I am there for Rishabh. Name spaces. Name spaces. So let's say this is Rishabh. This is Rishabh having a very big mustache. So this is Rishabh. Let's say this is Rishabh. Now Rishabh lives in a house. This house is Pandey house. So let's say the name of the house is Pandey house. Now inside this Pandey house, there are multiple rooms. There are multiple rooms. One room where Rishabh lives. Right? Rishabh lives. Now when Rishabh lives here in the Pandey house, can I say, let's say this is room 1. Room 1 holds Rishabh. Can I say this, Rishabh? Quickly. Can I say this or not? Quickly. Yes or no? Yes or no? Right? Right? So room 1 holds Rishabh. I can say this. Room 1 holds Rishabh. Now replace this room with space. Space that holds identifier. Right? Identifier. In a very simple word, whenever you define a is equals to 5, don't you think, guys, this will be somewhere in the memory space? Don't you think, guys? This will be somewhere in the memory space. That is your namespace. That is called as namespace. So if I write name is equals to Rishabh, name is equals to Rishabh. Let's say if I write name equals to Rishabh in a Python code, then what happens? Everyone, what happens? I have already discussed this earlier. Whenever you write name equals to Rishabh, then what happens? Everyone has to answer this. What happens whenever I write name equals to Rishabh? Can I say somewhere in the RAM there will be something like this where the values will be Rishabh, Rishabh, and this memory block will be named as name. Can I say this? Already we have seen this in string. Can I say this? Yes or no? What is this? This is namespace. Namespace. A space where name has been stored. And what is name? Name is a variable. Clear? Now is it clear? Is it clear? Rajkumar, is it clear? Right. So what is a namespace? Namespace is a space in the memory where identifier means variable or object is stored. Variable slash object is stored. Now the question is, how namespace is defined? How namespace is defined? Everything is in front of you. If you see it carefully, namespace is defined as namespace is defined as dictionary of identifier identifier and their values. What is the meaning of this? It means it means inside the memory, when you write name equals to reserve, then it is stored like this. This is the name and this is your value reserve. So this is the thing, this is the way namespace is defined in the memory. Or you understand like this way. So name reserve. To understand it more clear, I will just go this way, right? I will go this way, I will make you guys understand in a very easy way. So let's say when you write a is equals to a is equals to Ajay. So let's say a is equals to Ajay. So this is your a is equals to Ajay. So what is the meaning of this? Right, a equals to Ajay. What is the meaning of this? So can I say in your memory, right, in your memory space, something like this is being created, something like this. This is your memory block, this is your RAM. Inside this RAM there is, let's say, a j a y, and this is referred as a. Can I say this, everyone? Can I say this, everyone? Yes or no? Can I say this, everyone, quickly? This happens, right? Now there is one thing, if there is a dictionary like this, let's say a is Ajay. I will show you this, very important. A Ajay. So if there is a dictionary like this, I will make a dictionary. So let's say a, and then here let's say I will just write Ajay. So can I say a is key and Ajay is value? So a will be key and v Ajay is value. So let's say I will just write name D. D is this. Now, if you see type of D, then you will realize that this is a dictionary. Now, if you want to access Ajay, so what you will do? You will just write D of A. So you will access Ajay. This is how you access the dictionary. Everyone, first of all, everyone answer this. This is how you access the dictionary value. Yes or no? Everyone, everyone is on the same page or not? This should be pretty much clear. This should be pretty much clear because everyone knows this. This is the basics. Class dict Ajay. Now, similarly, if I say I want to access A, how will you access this? You wanted intuition, right? See, how will you access this? So this is your 0th index, first index, second index, third index. So can I say A0 if I access, then it will give me A? Yes or no? Yes or no? So can I say here if I want to access only Ajay, then sorry, only A, then I will just write A of 0, A of 0, then I will access A. Yes or no? Quickly, right? Yes or no? Everyone agrees to this? Right. Everyone agrees to this? Right. Now see carefully. Do you see any relation in this? See here and here. Do you see any relation in this? Do you see any relation in this representation? What is the relation? Can I say somehow both of them is actually accessed in a similar way? Right? Right? Can I say this? Right. So here I will just write namespaces are stored in a dictionary format, in a dictionary format, in a dictionary with identifier as a key, and their their objects objects as a value. Very simple, as a value. So here it proves actually that all of these things are actually stored in this format key value, because if they would not have been stored in a key value pair, then this way of accessing element could have been something different, maybe a dash 0, a dash 1, a comma 0, a comma 1, something like that. But you are able to access in a similar fashion as you access in dictionary. It simply means namespaces or the variables where it is stored are stored in this format in dictionary key and value. So prove you can see above, you can see above that, right, right, the string is accessed in a similar way, in a similar way as a value is accessed using using key. That's the understanding. Is it clear, everyone? So far, quickly, yes or no? Right, right, right. Is it clear, everyone? Right, 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 right. Now, you have understood this. This is your namespace definition. Now there are four types of namespaces. So I'll come to this now in detail. So we are going to dive deep into everything. So there are four types of namespaces. There are four types of namespaces. So you don't need to worry about this. There are four types of namespaces. I will talk about everything. So don't worry about that. There are four types of namespaces. First is built-in, built-in, built-in. Let's say first, and in fact, uh, uh, not let's like built-in. Let's like local first. The first namespace is local namespace. The first one is local namespace. Then we have enclosing namespace, enclosing namespace, enclosing namespace, namespace, enclosing namespace. Now, first local, second enclosing, third is global, global namespace, namespace, and then we have last, that is built-in namespace, built-in namespace, right? So these are four types of namespace, right, 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 right. This is also called as, this is also called as LEGB. LEGB. Very, very interesting. See it carefully. This is also called as LEGB. L stands for local, E for enclosing, G for global, B for built-in. I will discuss everything one by one, but this is the understanding. LEGB. Right, 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 right. So far, so good. Anyone has any questions? Quickly. Anyone has any questions so far? Anyone has any questions? Quickly. No, no questions. Very good, very good. So now let's move ahead. So we have understood this. We have understood this. Not a problem. We have understood what is here. Four types of namespaces: local, enclosing, global, and built-in. There is one more associated concept, right? Space scope, right? So whenever you say built-in namespace, so what is the scope of that? So here I will just write scope, right? I will talk about scope, don't worry about that. So what is a scope, right, right? So a scope is a region where region in python program, in a python program, python program, where namespace is directly accessible, is directly accessible. What is the meaning of this? What is the scope, right? So to understand it again, let's see again. This is Rishabh, this is Rishabh, Mustand. So this is a Rishabh, a guy, right? This is a Rishabh here. Fine. So now, if I say, what is the scope of Rishabh? Will it be in his own room, or Rishabh will be at some other's house, in other's room? What do you think, guys? What would be the scope of Rishabh? Will, if someone asks you, what is the scope of Rishabh? You know that Rishabh lives in this house, in this particular room. Then you will obviously say that this is the scope of Rishabh. Scope simply means where Rishabh is living, or the region where Rishabh has access to. He will not be having any access to others' house. Everyone agrees to this? Yes or no? Everyone agrees to this? Yes or no? Quickly, I want to hear yes from everyone. So I'll just write the same thing here. Right. What is the scope? For example, let's say for example, for example, if Rishabh lives somewhere, if Rishabh lives, right, he will be having access to access to his own room only. He will not be able to he will not be able to access others' house. Clear? This is scope. This is scope. Similarly, if a variable is defined somewhere, it will be able, it will be only accessed, only accessed by following some rule, by following some rule, and following some rule, that rule is called as, that rule is called as LEGB rule. What is LEGB rule? I will talk about this, but as a part of summary, whenever you define a variable, there is a space created. How it is space created? With some name and value in a form of dictionary. Third thing, each of these namespace will have scope. Scope means the region where it can be accessed. How one scope can be accessed? How a variable can be accessed? By following some rule, and that rule is LEGB rule. Is it clear? Is it clear now? Everyone, you understood the context. Why are we studying this? Quickly, yes or no? Tiger and tigress, lion and lioness. Everyone has understood this basic things, right? Very good. Very good. You guys are smart enough. You guys are smart enough. Very good. I am really proud of you guys. Very good. Very good. But now we are going to study what is this LEGB rule? What is this LEGB rule? So LEGB rule states, the LEGB rule states 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 that Python interpreter Python interpreter will start looking inside out, meaning it will it will look after look after look after first local namespace, local namespace, then enclosed namespace, enclosed namespace, namespace, and then local, then enclosed, then global, global, and then finally built-in namespace. This is your inside out. This is not a cricket shot. This is inside out. It means first Python will look for local namespace, enclosing namespace, global namespace, and then built-in namespace. I will explain you everything with an example. You don't need to worry about that. So to make you guys understand, let's start understanding this. Already you have some idea about the local variable and global variable, but we will start it again. We will start it again. So let's say if I define a is equals to 2, a is equals to 2, then if I execute a, what is happening here, guys? If I have written a is equals to 2, now if I am executing this a, then what will happen? Right, right, right. Then what will happen, guys? Rajkumar says if disturb sequence, I will come to Rajkumar. Don't worry about that because you don't have any power to disturb this sequence. That's a very good thing about Python. This sequence cannot be disturbed by anyone, right? So now if I execute a, it will give you 2. But have you ever thought how 2 is being given? Have you ever thought about how 2 you get? How you get 2? Right? No one has asked me till now. If I am writing a is equals to 2 and I just press a, then you get 2. But how actually it works? Right? 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 How it works? Sada is writing something like this. So let's me see locals, right? Locals, right? Locals, and let's say here a, right? See here it is 2. Very good, right? Right. But what if I write here global? What will happen in this case? Global, right? Right. This is giving you a wrong syntax. Why so? And why is it local? That is the question now. Is it local or it is something else? Right, right. So this is something that we have to understand in this particular lecture. This is what we have to understand. Right, right. So Rajkumar says when we create variable, then PVM our associated space in memory. Very good. That's a good thing. You know, Rajkumar remembers that we have discussed earlier. But actually, now we are going to again understand this in more detail. So how what happens? See it carefully. What happens? Right. Whenever you create a is equals to 2, whenever you create a is equals to 2, right, 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 then Python virtual memory, PVM, actually is creating a memory in the RAM, and let's say here 2 and it is a. Now the art of creating this memory or the method of creating this memory, you can just say that this is a namespace. This is a kind of namespace. Try to see this. So till here we have already seen what happens whenever you create a variable. So this is namespace. So you can say either variable is created or namespace is created. No one can say you wrong. This is the first thing. Second thing, now when you're writing a, then what will happen in this case? That's the question. That is the question, right? Whenever you write a, so a equals to 2, a namespace is created. Very good, not a problem. Then when you write a, then what will happen in this case? That's the question now, right? That's the question now. So Python will follow this LEGB rule. It doesn't know what is a. So first it will go and search in a local variable that does a name with a reference exist. If it exists, it will print. Otherwise, if it doesn't exist with a local e, then it will go to enclose, then it will go to global, and then it will go to built in. And I will show you how this sequence is followed. So you don't need to worry about that. Now, enough of intuition, enough of context. Let's start now the demonstration. Should we start the demonstration now, guys? Everyone. So let's say here you have a variable. Let's say a is equals to 10. So I will just write it here. Local and global. Local and global. So let's say a is equals to 10. Right? Now here, see, I am defining a function def func. So this is a function. So this is a function. See it carefully. And now I am writing b is equals to maybe let's say 12. Very simple. And here I will just write print b, and then here I will just write here func. So this is your func, and then I will again print A. Print A. So can anyone answer me what will be the output of this? What will be the output of this? Anyone? Right? Anyone? Right? 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 What will be the output? Anyone? Everyone has to execute this. Right? 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 Vipan says 12 and 10. Very good. Vedic says 12 and 10. Sudha says 12 and 10. Right? 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 So what will actually happen, guys? If you execute this, so you will get 12 and 10. So what is happening here? Have you ever thought what is happening here? So basically what happened, this A is actually your global variable. This A is your global variable, and then B is your local variable. B is your local variable. Right? B is your local variable. Right? B is your local variable. Right? Right. Now, how to prove this? How to look at this? See, any variable here that is defined inside the function can be only accessed inside the function. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes or no? Right. Any variable that is defined inside the function will only be accessed inside the function, and that's why you see here that this is called as local variables. Right? 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 So here I can just write local variable has its scope inside this function only. That's why we had studied what is scope. Right? Praveen is saying local variables are restricted to some part of code. Very good. Within boundary. Very good. Both of these things actually means the scope. Scope is limited. Right? 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 So the local variable. So I will just write it here. The local variable is can only be accessed inside the function. Clear? Very good. Not a problem. Now let's play this. Let's play with this. And now I will just copy paste this. I will now this time copy paste it again. See it. Right, right, right. Now here what I am going to do, I will remove this. See it carefully. I will remove this. B equals to 12. I can remove this as well. I will remove this. And now instead of B, I will just write print A. Right. And then I will here again print A. So let it be. Print A is already there. What will be the result of this? Anyone? What will be the result of this? Answer me now. Right? 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 What will be there? Right? Right? 10 comma 10. Very good. So 10 comma 10. So what is the meaning of this? Can I say, right, the global variable global variable can be accessed anywhere in the main program. Anywhere in the main program. This Jupyter notebook you can consider as a main program. So can I say this? Yes or no? Right? Can I say this? Yes or no, everyone? Right? Everyone? Yes or no? Right? This is very, very important. That's why I'm asking. You have to understand this. Because now the next thing is going to be fun. I will now copy paste this code, and then I will increase this A by A plus 1. Now answer me, what will be the result? This is interesting now. Vipan says which one is printed first? First, this is printed and then this is printed. Because func is called first. Okay, that's why you see 10 and 10. Now the question is, let's say here I have executed this. Now, what do you think? Will you be able to execute this? This is very interesting. Survey says error. Sajil says error. Other people? Vedic says error. Very good. Asraf says error. Now think why it is error. Now you will get to know the importance of understanding the scope of local or global variable. Think why you got an error. Why you got an error. Why you got an error. Right, right, right. So guys, now let's execute this. Here you will get an error. Why? So here I will just write it in detail. So editing local variable. So editing, so let's say editing global variable. Global variable. Here it will throw you an error. Here it will throw you an error. Throw you an error. Why? Because inside this function, right? Right. Inside this function, you cannot modify this global variable or global scope. And that's why you see the error. Cannot access local variable where it is not associated with a value. You will be having some other things as well. Right. Some other error as well. So a reference before assignment, you can also get that value as well. So not a problem. But this is the understanding. And I will show you again this using Python tutor. So maybe I will just go to this Python tutor and let's say I will just show you one thing. So here you see this. Now see what happens. You have to see it everything in detail. Mhm. Right, right, right. So here, if you see, this is the first step. A is equals to 10. See here, what will happen? See, this is your global frame, right? I have shown you this many times, but no one asked me what is this global. So it simply means this is a global scope. This is a global variable. Now, again, moving ahead, it will come to the last line because it saw the function. So func. So now a function is there. Right. As I had already discussed earlier as well, function is a first class citizen. So that's how you got an object of function here written like this. Very good. Now, next line. So next line, so let's say again it will come inside function and let's see what happens. Next, here if you see this line will be executed next and then again click enter, it will throw an error. Unbound local error, local variable A referenced before assignment. Actually, I wanted to show you guys this error, but in my notebook, I don't know why I'm not getting that error. But this is the error that you will be getting. Right. This is the understanding. So local variable A referenced before assignment. So what happens inside this? It will try to check out the local variable, right? Because this is a function scope. You are trying to edit it. So again, go back to the rule, LEGB rule. So what is LEGB rule? LEGB rule says LEGB rule says LEGB. Forget E first. LEGB rule says if you do any computation, it will try to look after local first and then after global. Then earlier, what was happening? When you were accessing elements, it tried to look after the local. It didn't got local, then it went to search for global, and that's why in the previous code you got A printed as 10. But when modifying, right, when modifying, it is looking for local, it didn't got the local, and that's why it just looked after that this A is global and you cannot modify global variable in some local reference. You cannot modify this is the Python's rule, and that's why you got that error. So now you might have understood why it is very important to understand if you define some variable and where it has been, where the scope is, where you can edit, where you cannot edit, something like that. Right? Right. The same thing, let's say same thing. I will just show you. Same thing if you write like this. A is equals to 10. Remove this. And now here I will just write A is equals to A plus 1. Now see 10 and 11. This will not throw in any error. It will not throw any error. So here simply you can modify the global variable. You can modify the global variable or edit the global variable, edit the global variable outside 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 you can edit the global variable outside the function. Very simple. Right, right. This is the understanding. Rajkumar says please explain the verb code in Python. Simple. See it. Previous. I will just go ahead. The code will start from here. Next A is 10. This is global frame. Then again func, it will see the func, it will be executed, it will go inside this. But as stated the earlier rule that the global variable cannot be modified here, and that's how it will throw you an error. Very simple. Right. But now your question would be, can I modify the global variable inside a function? Can I do that? That can be a follow-up question. Right. That can be a follow-up question. Right. Ashraf is saying how to paste the Ashraf, please don't ask that question. How to paste the code in Python tutor. Please figure it out. Where were you in last few classes? Right. Guys, now focus on this. So this is the understanding. A is equals to 2 def func print A here. So you can edit the global outside the function, but you cannot, is not possible, is not possible, is not possible inside a local space, local scope. That we have understood. Right? But now you will argue. First of all, I will just copy paste this code to make everything right. Make everything in a sequential way. Now, let's say still you want to edit the global variable. In that case, what you can do? Edit the global variable. Can you edit it? That's the question now. The question to your answer to your question is yes, you can do that. But ideally, you should not do, because this is not the correct way. So you can do it obviously, but this is not the correct thing to be done. You can write global A. So the moment you write global A, now you are saying to the Python that this is my global variable. Please don't search A in the local, search in the global and then access it, then edit it in local namespace and then give the value. Now this will not throw you any error and you will get 10 plus 1, 11. And finally, this is a global variable. That's why it is 11. Is it clear? Is it clear? Right, 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 right. Yes or no? Right, right, right. Global is created inside local. Very good, very good. Sir, if you do func A, will value be changed? Try to do that. Try to do that. Func A. Func A means passing parameter. Are you using this parameter? The answer to your question is no. Then you cannot use. That's it. Right, 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 right. Now moving ahead. Right. Since you have asked function A, then let's move to this function A only. Let's do function parameter. Let's try to look after function parameter. Since someone has asked it, function parameter. Is it a local or global? Let's try to figure it out. So let's say here, let's say A is equals to 10. See, A is equals to 10. And guys, believe me, I will be very honest with you guys. This is not a hard concept. but people don't have any patience. First, either to teach, second, either to study. They don't have patience to reach till here. Python means oops, function, and over, right? So if you guys are studying, it means you are having some added skills, right? And this will help you once you go inside corporate, go in corporate. If you guys are already working, any of you, if you guys are working somewhere, you might be knowing the importance of these concepts. These are not a part of a data science job. These are the concepts which software engineers use, right? And if you are having some flavor of software engineering, believe me, you are the best data scientist out there. That's the whole idea. Okay, that was little bit of gyan. Is it fine, everyone? Should I move ahead now? Did you guys understood what is the importance of this particular concept? Should I move ahead? Right. Very good. So now let's say func is there. I am going to write this variable here. Maybe okay. Maybe this time I will just write p. So let's say p. So now here I will just print p. Print p. This is your func. Print p. Right. Now what I am going to do? See it carefully. A is equals to a is equals to 10. I am writing here a is equals to 10, right? And then I am passing this a as a parameter, right? Now answer me, what will happen? This print a and then print p. What will be your result, guys? Quickly, can you answer this? What will be the result? What will be the result? Let me see. What will be the result? Everyone, बताओ. Wait. Only Sada has answered it correctly. Adeline has also answered it correctly. Very good, Adeline. I'm really proud. Adeline is catching up with the things. Very good. Jyoti, why are you not answering? Jyoti is there. Jyoti, you have to answer this question. Okay. Right. Right. So now, guys, this is very interesting. So you will get an error here. So execute this. Name P is not defined, right? 10 is fine because here 10 goes here, 10 is there. So that's why 10 is printed. Again, this A, 10 is printed. But why so P is showing you an error? Why? What is the case? What is the reason? Why it is showing an error? Right? Anyone? Anyone has any idea why it is showing you an error? Right, right. No, Asraf, that's not the reason. Here I am providing the function. That's not the correct thing. Rajkumar says we are trying to variable. That also is not the correct explanation. Vedic has answered it correctly. Function parameter is local. Always remember, is local. It is not global. Clear? Yes or no? Function parameter is local. Clear, everyone? Everyone? Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Quickly. Yes or no? Right. Very good. Very good. But now there are a lot of other things. Have you guys observed? Now, this was about all about global and local. We have understood local and global variables. Now, let's come to built-in. Of LEGB, let's come to built-in. So L, we have understood different examples, local. G, global, we have understood. Now let's go to B, that is built-in. So let's start understanding this also. So if you have you observed that print hello world. So many of the tutor, in fact I also, while introducing this print, I say this is a keyword, but this is not actually a keyword. This is a built-in function. So print hello world. Have you ever thought how this hello world comes? How hello world is printed? Because print is the built-in function. Already I have explained you guys correctly in your class. But generally, whenever I teach at other batches, I simply say print is a inbuilt keyword, not inbuilt function. It is a keyword. I say keyword. Why? Because of the simple reason, if I start explaining, then I have to go to this depth of talking about namespaces, what is built-ins. That's why I generally say that this is a you know keyword. That's it, right? But anyway, what is this built-in, right? So similar to local scope, similar to global scope, we have something called built-in scope. Built-in scope. So what is built-in scope? Right. So these are built-in functions. So I will show you. So for that, you will be having one module called as import built-ins. Built-ins. So import built-ins. Now, inside this built-ins, you will get all the built-in function. Built-ins like this, directory built-ins. And now just print it. Hope it should not throw you an error. Very good. So here you have all built-in variables that you can see. So maybe there will be print. If not, I don't care. But let's say here eval, list, locals, right? Locals. This was used just few minutes before. Map, memory view, minimum, next, object, oct, open, right? Sorted, static method. This we already have seen. All of these are actually the part of local, sorry, are a part of built-in scopes. These errors also we are going to look at a later stage in today's class only if time permits. But these are the built-ins, right? Anyone has any question, any curiosity here? What are these built-ins? Any curiosity? Is it clear? Anything idc we also have used a lot of times in binaries. Anyone has any questions here? Quickly, yes or no? Next, in iteration we have used it. A lot of things we have used it already actually, right? Right. Anyone has any questions, guys? Yes or no? Quickly. No any questions? Okay. So now this is very interesting. So you know now how to see the built-in scopes. Right. Right. Now, guys, as per the rule, always remember as per the rule is very simple. LEGB. LEGB. Local, global, and now you have seen built-in. Built-ins. Right. So what are the built-ins? Right. Already Python provide you some function that is your built-in functions. Right. Set attributes, op, slice, odd, length, license, list, local. You have already used some of them. Float, ID, filter, right? Bool. You have already used this. Right. Now, if you guys remember, I had talked about one thing. Never used any variable name as a keyword. Right. Right. So never use built-ins, built-ins as your variable name. This is the first point that is very important to know. And second, right, right. Always Python always follow LEGB rule. LEGB rule. And I can now prove both of these points in just one example. So let's try to look at this. Let's try to look at this. So let's say we have some list. List is equals to, so let's say list is equals to some values. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So this is a list. If I write max of L, max of L, max of L, then what it will give you guys? everyone, if I write max of L, what it will give you? Right, right, right. So this will give you 5. Very good. So let's execute this. This is a 5. Now what is this max? Can I say max? Where is max? Okay, I'm not able to see max, but I'm able to see minimum. So I will write mean so that I am not able to get it. So let's say mean. So mean is 1. So mean is what? This is your, can I say this is your built-ins? This is your built-ins. Very good. Not a problem. Now I will define a function called mean. See carefully. I will define a function main, right? And then I will just provide print, print, print. Life is better if Monjo Lika loves me. So let's say like this, right? Very good. This is the minimum, right? Now here I am going to do a very good thing. See it carefully, right? See it carefully. Now what I am going to do, I will just write print minimum of, minimum of, let's say minimum of. Here I will just pass this minimum function and then I will just pass something like this. Let's say here I will pass this list. Now what do you think, guys? What will happen here? Right. What will happen, guys? See it carefully and answer me. What will happen here? Sada says 1. This time Sada has been captured into the trick. Vedic says error, Atanaska says error, Asraf says error. But ideally, if I am writing minimum of L, this is giving me 1. Then how you guys are saying that this is giving me the error? See, minimum takes 0 positional argument, but 1 was given. What is the understanding? Right. I love teaching these topics because this is magic. What is happening here, guys? What is happening? Think it. Start developing the thought process as well. Now you guys are Python experts. Believe me, I know myself. I have given my best to teach you guys Python. Sada says LEGB rule. Very good, Sada. Right. Very good, Sada. So basically, if I have to explain you what is LEGB, LEGB, forget E, you don't care. L means local, G means global, B means built in. And try to understand this. Whenever you call a function by the same name, let's say minimum is there, minimum is there. This minimum is built in. So what is the priority? This built in, can I say this is the highest priority? Before B, we have global, yes or no? So basically, whenever you are calling minimum of L, it will go to first global. It will execute, it will try to find that there is a minimum global value or not, minimum function or some variable named min is there or not. It will find, okay, mean is there, then it will just execute that particular function and mean of L will be executed. Otherwise, if you not have this main, then built in was executed just few seconds before and you had got the correct result. Is it clear? Is it clear, everyone? Right. Everyone, this is very important concept. If you have understood this, your half of the job is done. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Quickly. Yes or no? Survi says, please explain again. Very good, Survi. Try to understand. What is this rule? LEGB rule. E, we have not studied. Forget. It means first local. Python will always check for a local variable. Then comes global. After local variable doesn't exist, Python will check for global variable. If the global variable doesn't exist, Python will check built-in built-in variable. Is this clear, Survi? First, this is your legb rule. This is clear. Now here we have minimum. One minimum is built in, so this is built in. Another minimum we have, that is our function, that is global. So let's say this is a global function. Now what will happen? This is a global scope, this is a built-in scope. Now as per this rule, which scope will be searched first? Surbi, you have to answer. As per this rule, which scope will be searched first? First, it will be searching local, but since you don't have any local, you will move to global. So then it will be searched global. So among these two, first global will be searched. And Python will find that this is a global minimum. That's why this minimum will not be this built-in. This will be this minimum. And this minimum doesn't accept any argument. And that's why here it says zero positional argument, but one was given. So because you are giving L, that's why it throws you an error. But at the other end, when it was not defined, if you would have given some argument L, since it was built in, previous time there was no global minimum, that's why this built in, this was executed. And that's why it proves two things. First, never use built-ins as your variable name because it will throw you an error, and Python always follow LZB rule. Therefore, in the below example, below example, the global minimum will be executed instead of built-in minimum as per legb rule. So this proves both the point that Python follows legb rule and also the first point, right? Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Right, right, right. Vipan, exception handling will little bit different. Vipan says that will be a different thing. Don't worry about that. I will come today itself to the exception handling. But this is slighter of a big topic for a data scientist, but very important to know if you want to work as an applied scientist or an ML engineer. Very important topic. This is the ultimate depth of Python that you should know. Everyone is clear. Everyone is on the same page. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? Quickly. Right. Very good. Very good. Now comes the last thing, that is enclosing space. We have not discussed this. Right. So in closing space, how to introduce you in closing? So can I say, we'll give you an example. Very easy example, not a very hard and fast rule. So let's say this is a circle, and this is a apple. This is an apple. I don't think it looks like apple, right? Okay. No, this don't look like apple. So maybe let's say this is lotus. I can make a lotus, beautiful lotus. This is a lotus, right? This is a lotus, right? This is a lotus, right? So can I say this circle encloses lotus? Very simple. Literal meaning of enclose, right? Right, 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 right. Yes or no? Right? Can I say this? Circle encloses lotus. Can I say this? Now remember this. Remember this, because this is the same concept in terms of Python also. Just remember. What is the literal meaning of inclusive? Right. Now moving ahead. So let's see it. Let's see it. In closing space, we are going to see. So let's say we are defining some outer function. Def def outer function. Outer func. So def outer func, right? Def outer func. Inside this, I'm going to define def inner func. Inner func. I'm going to define inner func, right? Then I'm going to write print a. See, print a, and then I will call it inner. So this I will call inner, and then inner func. So inner func, and then after calling this inner func, I will print something. Print outer func. So let's say I am printing it here outer func. So outer func. Right. I am just printing this outer func. Now again, I am just writing something like this. I will call outer. I will call outer, and then let's say print. So this is a Jupyter notebook program. So this is main program. This is main program. Now, guys, this is little bit tricky, right? This is little bit tricky, right? Right. But we have to understand this. We have to understand this. Now, here I will just write a is equals to 10 so that this is pretty much clear. Right, 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 right. Now, guys, here in this function, right, right, can I say this inner function is enclosed by outer function? First point. Can I say this? Right, right. Can I say this? Inner function is enclosed by outer function. So point one. So let's go point by point. Point one. Remembering the same definition, inner func is enclosed by outer func. Outer func. So can I say now if this is true, then outer func will have enclosing scope, because enclosing was something there in LEGB. E stands for enclosing scope. So I have written outer func will have enclosing scope. This should be pretty much clear. Enclosing scope is also known as non-local scope. Non-local scope. So I will just write here enclosing scope is also known as non-local scope. So first of all, is it clear? Right. So far, so good. Right. 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 Now, guys, if I execute this, what will be the result? Now you have to answer this. If I execute this, now what will be the result? Right. Right. What will be the result? Survey is saying error. Very good. Name outer is not defined. Why? Oh, guys, outer func. Right is here outer func. What will be the error? There will be no any error. Right. This should not be error. Right. So let's execute this. So I'll just execute this. See it carefully. A is equals to 10. So here it is 10. Then what happens? Inside this, it goes, right? So actually, this A equals to 10 is not printed here. First of all, it will go inside this outer func, right? It will come here, then see inner func, then again try to execute inner func. Then that's how you got printed 10. Then it comes out of this, then outer func is printed, and then finally, this is the main program that is printed. Right. This is the understanding. To make you guys more understand, right, I will go to simple what I do, right, each time to make sure that you understand it in a better way. So let's say here, I will just copy paste the code. Now, Asraf, have you seen how to copy paste the code? So now visualize the result. See it carefully. A is equals to 10, right? A is equals to 10. See, next. This is your global variable A, global frame A. Now, again, go ahead. See here, outer func. So here it will come directly to the outer func. So this is your outer func. This is your enclosed scope or enclosing function or non-local function. So now after that, go inside this. Fine, this will come inside this. As per rule, what will happen? First, it will go to inner func. So inside this inner func, it will come. So first of all, it will not execute this line because this is def keyword. So it will come to inner func. Now, see here, inner func parent is equals to F1. This is very much clear. After that, again it will go ahead and it will come inside inner func. Now here, inner func will be executed. So now here print is nothing there. So print A, it will print 10. And then finally, right, here see a very interesting thing. Inner func return value none. So it means the inner function has been now executed completely. Then again, go ahead to the next. So once you go to next, then again, this will print the outer func. So now it will print outer func. So this outer func will be printed. So now see here, outer func is there. Right. Right. Now this outer func is printed. Then after that, it will come outside and print. This is the main program. Very simple. So LEGB rule again followed. This was your understanding. I will prove it again. But is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? How it worked? Right. So here I will just write other things. So, you know, right. Right. So here I will just write inner function, inner function, inner function, function becomes local here, right? Global function, sorry, right? Main program becomes global here, global, and outer function, outer function, outer function becomes enclosing here. Right? Very simple. And as per rule, first local legb rule. What does legb rule says? First local. That's how first local was executed. That is inner func. Then global. Right. Sorry. Local. Then enclosing. Right. Enclosing. That's why here A was printed. This outer func because this is a part of outer func enclosing one and enclosing scope, and then finally then global scope, global scope, global scope gets executed. Very simple. This should be very clear, right? This should be very clear to understand what is the flow of code. That's why in the result, in the result, in the result, we have 10 outer func, outer func, and then finally outer func, and then finally this is the main program. This is the main program. Everyone got it? Yes or no? Right. Rajkumar says how Python understands when more than two functions. I will come to that. If there are more than two, so basically always remember enclosing space are always for nested function, are always for nested function, are always for nested function. Now the point is what will happen if there are more than two nested function, more than three nested function. I will come to that. I will come to that. No need to worry about that. But is this clear? This should be very much clear, right? This should be very much clear. Now I have some variation. Now let's say a is equals to 10. So let's say here we have this a is equals to 10. Now this a is equals to 10. Let's say I am defining it here. A is equals to 10. Right. Now here I am just writing a is equals to a plus 1. So what will happen, guys? Will this be executed? Right. What will happen, guys? What will happen? This will be executed? Yes or no? So it will give you error, right? So here I can simply write, so this will throw the following code will throw error. Code will throw error. Now if you want to actually modify this, then in that case how will you modify this, right? So here in this case what I can do, right, if you want to modify this, modify or edit this, edit a, then you can use another keyword, you can use another keyword that is called as non-local. So non-local, not global, non-local. So you can use non-local for uh, for enclosed variable. You will use non-local. So I'll just write it here, non-local. So here I can simply write non-local a, non-local a. Then it should not throw you an error. This will run exactly like this. Is it clear, everyone? This was this was all about local, global, enclosing, built-in namespaces. But there are few pointers. So let's say few pointers. Right, right. So few pointers. First, what are loops? So is loops, so whatever you work on, so let's say loops you work on, or let's say something like that, right? Non-local is not cleared. Rajkumar says non-local is not cleared. So here, what is this variable global? Rajkumar, what is this variable? It is a global variable or it is an enclosing scope variable? Answer this, Rajkumar. This is a global variable or it is an enclosing scope variable? Enclosing. Now what is enclosing called as? Enclosing is also called as, I have written somewhere, enclosing scope is also called as, read this, non-local scope. Yes or no, Rajkumar? Enclosing scope is also called as non-local scope. And that's why if you want to access a non-local scope inside a local scope, then you have to write non-local. That's it. Then you will be able to edit it. Similar to global that you had written in the previous example. Clear? Right? So easy? Right, right, right. No. Never use non-local or global. No, it's not recommended. Never recommended. If you use it, now, कैसे कहा जाता है कि now, you just understand like this that a very basic thing, right? You should be jealous of other people who is actually achieving something in their life. So why people say, people say because you should be jealous because you will get motivated, but in real you should not be getting jealous of, because it will bring negativity in you, right? So jealousy as an option, you have an option to be jealous, but generally people don't have to be jealous. Actually, I wanted to give some other example of cricket, but I cannot give because many of people might not understand about the cricket. But in cricket, there is a rule, right? What is the rule? If you guys know this, that if a bowler has bowled, right? Here is a wicket, here is a wicket, here is batsman, here is a bowler. This is a bowling end. Now, if a bowler is bowling here, right, and this batsman has left the crease, then you can actually, make him out even without bowling it. You know this rule. I don't know how many of you know this in the cricket rule, but there are many Instagram reels where you will find that Chris Gale was doing same, or let's say Ashwin was doing same, something like that. But this is a rule. You can legitimately get this wicket, but actually this is not done. Why this is not done? Because this is a gentleman game, right? And this is not a gentleman idea. This is like a rubbish thing to do, right? So that's the whole idea. But anyway, this time forget my analogy. Simple thing. You have liberty to do this, but should you do? The answer is no. You should not do it. Simple. Many of you might get confused with that analogy. So don't think about analogy. Just understand that you have permission to do this, but you should not do this. Now, should I move ahead? So loops. Whenever you work on loops, right? Right. Whenever you works on loops, right? Whenever you work on loops, answer is a simple question. Is it a global scope, built-in scope, or main scope? What is the thing? Right. So that is saying local. Anyone else? Whenever you work on loops, this was interview question that was asked to me in Microsoft. Right. What is loop? Right. Sajal says local. So this is a part of main program. Main program. Simple. And main program, what will be the main program? See, I have written it explicitly. If you guys remember. Right. Right. Main program becomes global. Right. Right. Main program always becomes global in every case. Right. So you cannot say loop as a local. Right. So it is a part of main program that will always be global. First thing. Second thing, in case of in case of multiple, right? Yes, I will be local, Sada. I will be local, but loop will have its own scope, right? Everything for I in the list print I, it will have its own scope. To think it in this way, let's say I is 1, 2, 3, 5. So I can also access 1, I can also access 2, I can also access 3, I can also access 5. So if something is being able to access, then what is that? That is something like a main type of program, right? Right. But anyway, in case of multiple functions, right? Multiple nested functions. Now, in this case, guys, what will happen? In this case, what will happen? So let's say here, very easy, right? In case of nested function, the innermost will be the local scope. Then all the function will have enclosing will have enclosing space and 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 the outer function will be global namespace. Very simple, very simple, right? Right. 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 So what will happen here? So let's say you have some function like this, right? Right. So here let's say def, inside this def, inside this def, inside this def, inside this def. You have to not worry about this. Just consider the lowest one as an inner function, the outer one as the outer function, and rest all of this function will be enclosing scope. That's it. Is this clear? This was asked by Rajkumar. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes or no? Is it clear? Yes or no? Atanaska says nested act enclosed. Yes. Right. And last thing, always remember. Right. 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 So here you saw a nested function. Right. Right. You saw nested function. In decorators also you saw some nested function. So whenever a parent function is executed, whenever a parent function is executed, right? Also, I'll just write the spelling correctly. Whenever, also true for decorators. Because what was decorators? Decorator was a nested function. So whenever function, a parent function is executed, or let's say whenever a function is executed, whenever a normal function is executed, all the variables, all the variables related to this function, related to function, is lost or cleared, right, right, or cleared by Python, right. Someday it will be cleared, right, 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 right. So it will be cleared or deleted. So let's say use one more word, deleted. So it will be cleared or deleted. But 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 right, but if there is a parent function, that is outer function, if a parent function is executed, still child function child function can can access to the parent function variable. This is theoretical. Actually, it has been already proved by this example. See here, outer function is already executed. Still, it can have the inner, it can access to this particular outer value. This is a little bit tricky, but this is the understanding. So let's say outer function, there is nothing in the outer function. So let's say it has been executed, right? Still, this inner function can have access to this variable of outer function. This should be pretty much clear, right? So that would be all about name spaces. Now we are going to study other things as well. But as of now, do you guys have any questions so far? Is it clear? Name spaces, you have understood this? Yes or no? Quickly, right? Quickly, do you guys have understood this? Yes or no? Right. Sajil says, how much importance is this topic in the industry? Very important if you want to work in the intersection, I mean to say, where you are deploying some machine learning model, you want to work for that type of role, then this is actually very important topic, like machine learning engineer role, right? Deployment engineer role. So that sort of thing, if you want to, you know, work as, then this is a very important topic that you should be studying, you should be knowing about, right? This is the understanding, right, right, right. So should we take 5 minutes of break and then we again restart? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so we'll start with 5 minutes timer. I know I have already wasted in the first, you know, but yeah. So do we start, guys? Everyone, yes or no? Quickly. So do we start, everyone? Okay, no one is there. Is it? Should we start, everyone? Yes or no? Okay, so let's start. Let's start. So again, this is going to be a fun topic, right? Right. So how to handle files? So we'll start with file handling. Also understand the concept of serialization and deserialization. So these are very important topic. And then also we are going to understand pickling. So this is this is going to be very interesting. So I will just write it here. Just give me a second. I'm just thinking, should I make a different notebook or the same notebook? Okay, so I'll just put it on the same notebook only. Right. So file handling, namespaces, file handling, file handling, handling, serialization and deserialization, deserialization, serialization and pickling. Guys, today you have to show some patience because already already I had wasted your time in initial, let's say, uh, whatever time it was. So already I have wasted. So we will extend this class beyond 9, maybe 9:15, 9:30. So we are going to see all of those things. So let's start with file handling, right? Right. So we'll start with file handling. File handling. First of all, to start with file handling, let's try to understand why file handling is used or why file handling is needed. That is the first question that should be asked. What do you think, guys? Why file handling is needed? Quickly. What do you think, guys? Why file handling is needed? Anyone? Right? Right. To perform operations on files of different extensions. Very easy. Very good. Other one, other people. Right. 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 It allows a store, very good, to store, modify, persist data. So basically, why file handling is needed to understand. So why do we study this file handling? That is very important to understand. Right. Right. So let's start with understanding why. The first question is why. Why are we interested in studying the file handling? Right. Obviously, can I write the data is stored in the file, and our job as a data scientist is to access the data, work on it, and then dump it or store it. Yes or no? Everyone everyone agrees to this or not? Very simple. Now I have one more question, guys. Let's say here you have a file. Let's say this is a file, height, weight. Now answer me a very simple question. Where is this file? In RAM or ROM? What do you think? Where is this file? Everyone. Is this file in RAM or ROM? Very good. So that is saying hard disk. What is hard disk? It is ROM. Right. Right. RAM is cache. In a very rough words. Right. So here I can just say these files are stored in a hard disk. So far so good. Right. 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 Now, what can be the nature of files or types of types of data. So types of data to be stored in a file, to be stored in a file, to be stored in a file. What can be the types of data to be stored in a file? Right. First, it can be text. Second, it can be binary. Very simple. Not more than anything. So text are sequence of Unicode characters. Sequence of Unicode characters. Unicode characters with some ASCII values. Right. And this is sequence of bytes, sequence of or binary number, sequence of binary number. Very simple. Binary number, sequence of bytes of its binary equivalent. Bytes of its binary equivalent. Right. This is the two thing. Right. Similarly, these are the two types of data. Right. Similarly, you also deal with two types of file. First is text file. So you will also you will also you will also deal with two types of file. Two types of files. First, text file. Text file. Second, binary file. Binary file. Right. And what are the operations that you do with the file? Operations on file. Operations on file. So you open a file, then read write a file, and then maybe close the file. Close the file. These are the operations. These are the operations that you do. And now all our discussion will be around this only. So let's try to understand this everything one by one. Right. So to understand this, I will write few more of the things. First of all, did you guys understood why file handling is necessary? Everyone? Did you guys understood why file handling is necessary? Everyone? Yes or no? Quickly. Right? Because as a data scientist, you want to work with the files. Right. 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 And that's why file handling is important. This is the very easiest explanation. Right. Right. Now, while working with the files, there are some modes. So here I have written read write a file. Right. So those are the modes. So maybe let's say I will write R is read mode. Read mode. So you read a file. Then W is write mode. Write mode. Read write. Then A is append mode. Append mode. And then we have something also called as R plus. Here you can say both reading and writing together. Both reading and writing together. Writing together. So file these are some file methods. Right. Obviously you will not understand this until we start exploring this, until we start using this. Otherwise it will not make much sense. Right. So let's say first thing what I am going to do, let's say if file doesn't exist, so let's say here, that's why I had made another folder here. So if you see, right, if you see, there's no any file here in this folder, there is no any file. Now what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do, so case, or let's say if the file is not present, if the file is not present, so if the file is not present, you want to make some file. Right. 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 Now how to make this file? So for example, you will write open, and here you will name the file. So this file is, let's say, file.txt, file.txt. And then you will just write w mode. W means write mode. The moment you write w mode or write mode, right? So what will happen? There will be a file created. So here, let's execute this. So I have executed this now. And now, if you see here, refresh here, then you will find file.txt. So it will create a new file. So it will create a new file. So actually, W means write mode. W is write mode, write mode. It creates a new file if it doesn't exist. This is the understanding. Now, let's say I want to write something in the file. So what I will do? File dot write. Right. So here I can just write something like this. This is my first first line in the file. Now, if you execute it, right, so you will find 33. Obviously, 33 means number of bytes that you have written. 33 is number of bytes that you have written, that you have written, that you have written, which is equivalent to number of characters. You can understand this. But let's say file not write. This is my first line in the file. Very good. Now, if you just go ahead and just try to refresh it and open this. So if you will open this, you will not find anything here. Why so? Why so? Right. Why so? What has happened that in the file there is nothing here? So basically, what has happened here, when you were writing file.write, this is my first line in the file, you have written it, but you have not closed it. What happens in our real life? Whenever you want to edit a video, so you open the video, you start editing it, right? It will be saved only if you close it, right? So you have to first close it. File.close. So that the moment you close it, and now if you see, you will find something written in the file. So 5 seconds ago. So now if you open it, so this is my first line in the file. Is it clear? Yes or no? Is it clear, everyone? So what I am going to do, I will just put this in this one line of code, and file dot close, I will put it here, right? So that this should be pretty much clear, right? So always close the file, always close the file in order to save the changes, This is the understanding. Now, with respect to this file, there are some attributes. I will just discuss this. Right. But before moving ahead, let's dive deep into something. What? Let's dive deep into something. How exactly open works. How open works. This is very important thing to know, because many of the people will know how to use this open, but how open works, no one knows about that. And this is something that we want to first understand. Anyone has any idea how this open works? Right? Anyone? Right. 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 Anyone? No one has any idea? Right. Right. Okay. So let me start explaining it. Right. First of all the files, it creates a new file and reference by file variable. No, so that's not the correct understanding. All the files, all the files are stored in hard drive. That is your ROM. Say it carefully. First thing. This is the first step. Right. When you use you use open. When you use open, with w mode. Let's say with w mode, because I am just writing here w mode, right? Right. What happens? Python will pick this. Python will pick this file. Be very careful here. It is not referencing, right? It is picking that file. Python will pick the file to roam or make a copy to the room. So Python will make a copy to room. Sorry, room I am saying copy to RAM. RAM. So copy to RAM. This is the second step, right? In RAM, where it puts, right? Make a copy or keep a copy, keep a copy in RAM's buffer memory, right? RAM's buffer memory. RAM's buffer memory. Buffer memory. Right. 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 So all the files are stored in hard drive ROM. When you use open with W mode, Python keeps a copy in RAM's buffer memory. Right. What is buffer memory? Right. Buffer memory is a memory is a memory where where you read characters one by one by one. Very simple. That is a buffer memory, right? Right. From starting, it's a from starting, right? From starting, it will read characters one by one, right? Then what will happen after you have loaded the file in your RAM buffer memory? Then you do computation. Then you do computation. Then you do read and write whatever you want to do. Then you read and write. And the moment then the moment when file is closed, and the moment when file is closed, it is again sent to hard drive. Sent to hard drive. The copy of that file is again sent to hard drive. That's why whenever you edit something and you close, they will ask, please save it. So what is happening? You will save, that changes will reflect again in your hard drive. That's the complete understanding how open works. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Right? This is the first thing. Now, you must be wondering why file.close? Why file.close? This is another question. Right. Sajil asked, right function will work only. Yes, yes, Sajil. So why file.close? This is another question. Why file.close? Can you answer this? Right, right, right. Very good. Resource cleanup. Resource cleanup. So resource cleanup. How? From RAM. From RAM. So actually it will clean up the resource from RAM. This is the first thing. Second thing. Second thing. Anyone has any idea? Very good, Rajkumar. To protect file. To protect file. So that protect file from hacker, let's say from hacker, or let's say it doesn't become corrupt. It doesn't become corrupt. Doesn't become corrupt. Become corrupt. Right. So that's the idea of file.close. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Right. Right. Now, guys, if there is a file, let's say if there is a file, if you click right click, so you will something find like this: properties, compress to, add to fabric. So these are some attributes. Similarly, in Python also, if there is a file, there will be some attributes of file. Attributes of file. So what are the attributes of file? Right. The attributes of file. So what are the attributes of file? So for example, file dot closed, it will give you if the file is closed or not. So here if you execute, this is true. So basically this file is now in a closed mode. If you want to see the file name, file.name. So this will give you file.txt. Right. Again, file.mode. If you just write file.mode, you will find if it is in a writing mode or if it is in read mode. Right. Right. Is it clear? Yes or no? Right. Clear, everyone? Right. Right. Now, guys, let's say in this same file, I will now write file.write. This is my second line. Can I do so? Right. Right. Everyone, can I do so? Right. So this will throw you an error. This will throw an error. Why? 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 Because file is closed. Because file is closed. So again, you have to rewrite, then you have to again open the file first and then rewrite. Right. Right. Then how to rewrite again? Right. How to rewrite again? So what I will do here, file is equals to, again, file is equals to open. Then I will just write file.txt. Then in which mode? W mode. So write mode. Right. Write mode. So file.write. Here it should be. So let's say first line already I have written. So this is my second line. Second line. Right. And let's say here I will also use escape character for a new line. Let's say this. Then you are having, so let's say I will just copy this again. File.write. So this is my third line. So this is my third line. Third line. Third line. Again, I will just write this is my fourth line. Fourth line. And then again, I will close this file. So file dot close. Right. Now, guys, see it carefully. Right. See it carefully. Now, if I execute, what will happen, guys? This will be executed, not a problem. I will go to this file, refresh it. See, 4 seconds ago, file was changed. Very good. I will just open it. Oh my god. This is my second line. This is my third line. This is my fourth line. Where is my first line? Because earlier I had written this is my first line. Has Manjulika eaten that first line? Where is the first line, guys? That's the question. Is it some magic? So basically, disadvantage of W mode. Disadvantage of W mode. It will always create a new file. A new file. And that's why the last file was overwritten and you didn't saw and you didn't saw this is my first line. Got it? Yes or no? Then what is the solution to this, guys? What is the solution to this? Right. So here writing multiple lines. Writing multiple lines. Right. Right. Now what is the solution to this? Right. Right. The solution to this is something else that is called as append mode. Solution is append mode. Solution is append mode. What does it do? It adds the strings in the last. So let's see it. So here, instead of this, I will just write like this. This file is equals to A. So this I will just write A mode, and this time file dot write. This is my fifth line. I will just write here. This is my fifth line. So this is my fifth line. Fifth line. And then I will just close it again. File dot close. So now what will happen in this case, guys? So let's go ahead, just cancel it. So there is no any fifth line. I will close it now. Again, refresh it and just see the file again. So you will find file dot text. And this time, this is my second, third, fourth, and also you will find the fifth line. Is it clear? Is it clear, everyone? Right? Yes or no? Right? Right? Everyone, is it clear? Quickly. Yes or no, everyone? Mhm. No one is responding. Okay. So it is clear. Very good. Now moving ahead. This is again very important. Right. So we are going step step. So this is very fun. So now you want to write multiple lines. Multiple lines in one go. How to write it? Very simple. So let's say you have a list of multiple lines, something like this. Maybe I will just copy it. So this is my first line. This is my first line. So this is my first line. Then this is my first line. Then I will just put it. This is my second line, right? First line. This is my second line. Then again, you have this is my third line. So let's say these are multiple lines, right? You want to write in one go. What you can do? Very simple. This time again, f is equals to f means file equals to open, and let's say this time file.txt, and you will use write lines. So file dot write lines. So file dot write lines. So if you just write file dot write lines and put l inside this, and then file dot close, it will write the lines in one go, right? Why it is this? File is equals to open file.txt, write lines, unsupported operation. Write lines should work, right? Write lines should work. Right lines. Okay, sorry guys, I have not put the mod. So w mod. So now this file will have everything in one go. So now if you just execute it again, then you will find file.txt and everything in one go, right? This is the understanding. Is it clear, everyone? So far so good? Yes or no? Right, right, right. Now how to read a file, right? Read a file. So let's start with now reading a file. So you have, so write lines, write lines. So we have seen write lines. Now we have read files. So you are going to see now read files. Right. How to read a files? Again, this time, if you see, we have done with the read mode, sorry, write mode. We are done with the append mode. Now we are going to use read mode. So what is this read mode? So let's try to understand this. File is equals to open, right? And this time I already have file. So file.txt, right? And then I will just write read mode. So this is your read mode. Now execute it. So this has been executed. Now try to write file.write. Can you guys write it? File.write some line. This is a new line. Can you write this? The answer to your question is, answer to my question is no. This will throw error. This will throw error. As error as file is opened in write mode, sorry, read mode, you cannot write, you cannot write. So this is the understanding, not writable. But since you have opened it, so let's say you have already opened it, so you have opened it, now read the lines, right? Read the line. How I can read the line? Read the line. So you have to write file dot read. So file dot read, and then here you can just write, maybe let's say this is the text, t is equals to this, and then you can just write text, print text, and then maybe file dot close. So you will again close the file. So this is my first line, this is my second line, this is my third line. Now you are able to read everything here. Yes or no? Everyone? Is it clear? Is it clear? Right. Other way, what you can do? Other way to read the file. Right. Other way to read the file. So here, other way to read the file. Other way to read the file. To read the file. What you can do? Here you have, so for I in file, you can also write print I. Very simple. So now this is my first line, this is my second line, this is my third line, something like that. So you can also do this. Right? Right. Now let's say if you want to read file up to first 10 character, how can you do that? Right. So read the file or read the line or read the file up to let's say 12 characters. How can you do that? So file dot read, just write 12, so you will be able to only read this 12 character. This is the understanding, right? Is it clear so far? Anyone has any questions? Right, 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 right. Anyone has any questions so far? Should I move ahead? Yes or no? Quickly. Any questions, guys? Everyone, please answer it quickly. Yes or no? Right. So no questions. So I am moving ahead. Now there is another option of reading the file that is called as read line. Right. You can use also read line. Very simple. How you can use? So here I will just again copy this. Right. Right. Read line. Right. So here I can do, Jyoti asked how to read multiple files. You have to open it multiple times. So let's say read line. So here you will be having file equals to open, right? File.txt or then here file dot read line. So there is also one function called read line. So if you just write here read line, so just write read line, something like this, and now you can just write print 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 read line, right? Print read line, and now I will just write something like this. So it will just read the first line, read the first line, read the first line. Now if you want to read the second line, what I can do? So print read line, again I will execute this, again I will execute this. So one by one this will read. This is my first line, this is my second line, this is my third line. Right. Now let's say you want to have end. So there is a parameter and. So and is equals to some space, let's say like this, and is equals to some space, then the new line will be together. So I'll just show you, and is equals to this, so extra line space, this will be over. See here, now this is okay, put it only one space, right? So that will be gone, that way you were seeing. This is my first line, this is my second line, this is my third line together. So and will actually, right, this is read only one line, Read only one line. Only one line. Right? Right. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Now, guys, what is the use case of this read line? Can anyone answer this? Right. This is again very important. What is the use case of read line? Right. If you think it, then this is the most important function you will find. Right. Right. This is the most important method of reading a file. Can anyone answer this? So that is for tokenization. Very good. But why? Tokenization can also be done using read lines, or read. Why read line is so important? Right? Why it is very important? Right? Think it. Think it, guys. Everyone has to think it. Right? So basically, what will happen? Let's say you have importance of read line. Importance of read line. Right? Let's say you have a file. You have a file more than your RAM. So now you might have understood. So let's say your RAM is 4 GB and file is 8 GB. Will you be able to read that? No. So in that case, it will throw out of memory error. Out of memory error. Memory error. So in that case, read line read line comes very handy, and you can use to read line wise line, and do some computation do some computation, and very useful in deep learning. Right. Very good, Rajkumar. It worked like a yield. Very good. Right. Right. Can you write one code, a small code, reading 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 entire file using read line? Right. Right. And do some computation this way, at a time. Only that line will be in RAM. Now, guys, reading entire file using read line. Can you write this program? Anyone? Anyone can write this? Do you guys want to write this? Right. Simple, guys. Let's say f is equals to. Let's say file is equals to. I'll just copy this maybe. File is equals to open file.txt. Right. It's very easy. File is equals to open.txt. Right. File is equals to open txt dot file.txt. Right. Now what you can do? Right. So while true. Right. This is your infinite loop. While true. Right. So what you can do? Data is equals to f dot file dot read line. Simple. File dot read line. Right. And now if data is an empty value, then what you can do? Break. Don't execute this now. And else, if it is not the case, print data. Print data. And as usual, I will just write end is equals to this. And finally, last, I will just write file dot close. That's the understanding. See, this is my first line, this is my second line, this is my third line, and now this is a generic code. So that was saying tokenization. So at this point, you can tokenize, right? Data equals to file dot read line. After this, you can do tokenization, right? This is one of the application in deep learning. You will be seeing that, but this is the understanding. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Right? Everyone? Clear? Right? 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 Very good. Very good. Now, guys, let's move ahead. So now, right, we are going to, you know, see two more function, right? This is very, very important. That is seek and tail. So this is again a very interesting concept. Seek and tail. So we are going to look after this first. So let's say here, this is your file, right? This is your file. So file is equals to open file.txt, right? Right. So this is your file open.txt. Now what I am going to do? I am just going to write print file dot read. So print file dot read. So what will happen in this case? Right. It will read all the values. Very good. Right. Right. Very good. So can I say now, since everything has been read, so can I say the cursor is at right last position? So can I say something like that? Here, the cursor or pointer is at last position. Can I say this, guys? Everyone, can I say this? Right. Right. Now, if you use this very interesting file.tail, actually it tells the current position of the cursor. Current position of the cursor. So the current position of the cursor is at 73rd position. This is the understanding. Right. Now again, if you want to read this file.read, then you will find that it is empty space because 73rd till here it has been already read. After that, there is nothing. After that, all all the text. After all the text, there is nothing. That's why empty string. That's why empty string. Now, what is this seek? There's another function that is seek, right? So seek. So this was about tail. Tail talks about where the cursor is. File.seek. What is this seek? So this brings the cursor whatever position you want. File.seek, right? So here I will just write, right? Seek brings or seek sets the cursor. Very good. So the seek sets the cursor at whatever position you want. Don't get confused that it is only at 0th position. No, whatever position you want. Generally, we write 0. That's why it seems that it is a 0th position, but it doesn't mean that you only set the cursor at 0th position. Right, right. Now, in this case, what we can do, right? So let's say here again we have file. So I'll just copy this again, this code. File is equals to open file.txt. So let's say txt r. Then here I will just write read line, read line. So let's say I will show you first file.close. See here what is the file. So this is my first line. So here is the cursor. Let's say, right, right. Now what I am going to do, I'll just copy paste this again, and here I will write file.seek 0, right? So here I will write file.seek 0, file.seek 0, file.seek 0, right? So first you open the file, then you file.seek 0, then maybe here I will just write read and then print close. So what will happen in this case? See, this is my first line. Each time it is at 0th cursor, 0th cursor, this is my first line. And again, file.read is giving all the thing, first line, second line. But it will become more clear, right? If I show you file.seek 10, or let's say 4 5, let's say 5. Now what will happen in this case, right? So file.seek, now you see is my first line where this is has gone. So here it is setting up the cursor, at fifth position, at fifth position. And that's why in the result you are not seeing this age or this end space. Did you guys understood this? Yes or no? Is it clear? Right. Yes or no, guys? Clear? Right. 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 Now, one more thing, guys. One more thing. Very interesting thing. Right. So you have understood this. Fine. This is completely fine. Now let's say in this case, first of all, I will show you one more thing. Right. Right. This is again very interesting example. So here, sick and right. So I will just show you sick and right together. Sick and right together. Right. Right. So let's say you have a file. Let's say file is equals to open, and this time I am opening in a write mode. So let's say maybe I will just write write mode. This is a write mode, right? Now I will just write file dot write. So file dot write. Maybe this is my first line. This is my first line. Very good, right? Now f dot seek 0. So my cursor is at 0th position, right? And then again I will write, see it carefully, file dot write. If I write file dot write some value, let's say India. India. Now what will happen in this case, guys? Right. Right. What will happen in this case? Can anyone answer this? Right. What will happen in this case? Right. 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 So try to execute this file dot close. Now if you refresh it, if you refresh it, right, right, you will find this. So here you will see India is my first line. So here, what has happened? Can anyone answer this? Right. Here, the result here in the resultant or result file, the text will be something like this. Text will be something like this, right? So what is happening here, guys? Right. So let's say India, we just space. So what is happening? Right. This is actually replaced by India. Why so? Because this seek 0 is bringing the cursor to 0th position, and then it starts writing India. So I T gone and H gone, right? D again I is gone, right? I then S is gone, and then A, one of the space is also gone. So index wise, or let's say the data is replaced. The this is replaced. This is replaced. That is the understanding, right? Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? So far, so good. Right, 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 right. Very good. Is it clear, everyone? Now, now, one more thing. One more thing. Right. So let's try to understand few more thing that is very, very important. Reading file using context manager. So reading the file or using context manager. Using context manager. This is also very important. So this is your with. So there is another way of reading the file as well. How? So here you can just read the file with open. See here, with open, and then whatever file name is there. So file.txt. File.txt. Right, 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 right. So file.txt. Right. Now here you can just write in W mode. So W mode, and then here you can just write as F, or let's say as file, whatever you want to name it. Till now we have used file. So let's say you will just write file. Doesn't matter. File. And then file dot write. File dot write. Right? File dot write. I love Monjolika. Love Monjolika. I love Monjolika. See what happens. So now just go ahead and see the file, something like this. Right. Right. So here, if you see file.txt, I love Monjolika. Simple. I love Manjolika. So, one thing, the same way you have written the file, but why it is necessary? Why it is, important thing, right? Why are we studying this? So basically, with is always preferred over opening the file in this way, right? Why? So again, I will write few pointers, pointers. You already know it's always a good idea to close the file, after opening it, after opening it. This is the first thing, right? If we don't close, python will automatically close it. Python's garbage collector, there is a garbage collector in Python, so collector will automatically close it after some times, after some day, automatically close. But with keyword that is also known as context manager, keyword closes the file as you are done with the operation, as you are done with the operation, done with the uses, right? Whatever you want to do. And that's why this is the benefit of this using with. That's the understanding, right? That's the understanding. Is it clear, everyone? Right? Right. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Right? Right. So this is some sort of replacement of file dot close. Right. 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 This is some replacement of file dot close. Right. This is the replacement of file dot close. Right. Right. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? Right. Right. Now, guys, I think let's uh, what should I do? Let's take this last example. Most probably, then we are going to be, we are done with the day, or then we are going to, see other things in the next class, because we have to also see how to work with the directories, right? So we are going to see how to work with the directories, right? So that will be seen in the last class. So I'll just give you one last example or last use case, right? Right. So basically, so for example, let's say here we have, you know uh, with file open, file dot text. So I can just write here, maybe this is my first line, right? This is my first line, this is my first line, right? This is my second line, right? Slash n. And maybe let's say file dot write, this is my second line, something like that. So this is my second line, right? Second line. Then we have, let's say this is my third line, third line. And then again, this is my fourth line. This is my fourth line. So this is the idea, right? So this will create a file.txt. So here you will just go ahead and see file.txt. So here in this case, if you just open this file.txt, so you will get, this is my first line, second line, third line. Now if you want to open it in the read mode, you can do that as well. How? Very simple. So open the file with context. This is something I wanted to show you. Open the file with context. So can you do that? The answer to your question is yes. With open, open file.txt, file.txt. Here you can just open this in the read mode. So here I can just write read mode, and then as let's say file. Fine. Now what I can do, print file.read. So here let's say I will just write print file.read. Each time you want to put 10 characters. Let's say 10 characters. So file.read. Again you will be having file.read. Again you will be having file.read. Again file.read. So now each time you want to read 10 characters. So now if you see, this is my, then again first line, then again this is a 10 character, this is my second, something like that. Right. Now, now how, what is the benefit of this? Right. This way, again the same benefit that already we have discussed, to load a big file in memory. This is very very useful whenever you want to use read line, something like that. Right. Be it in write mode or read mode, so whenever you want to do, so this is the benefit of it. So this would be all for this lecture. Today I wanted to extend it half an hour, but let it be. So interview questions here, interview questions, right? So very very important. What is global scope? Global scope, or what is name scope? This is the first thing that we'll ask. Then what is global global, or let's say what is legb scope? Legb scope, this is very important. Then what is the benefit, what is the benefit of using open? That would be few important thing till here. That's it. Anyone has any other questions to ask? So how was today's lecture? Did you guys enjoyed it? In the next lecture, next lecture, we are going to see concept of working with uh, directories in Python. Then we are going to see the concept of serialization, deserialization, serialization, deserialization, and pickling, something like this. So we are going to see all of those things. Right. Anyone has any questions to ask? Quickly, you can ask it. Right. Rajkumar says regex. Regex, there is nothing in regex, Rajkumar. So don't worry about that. I will take a regex class. Atanaska says when we will have a mini project. Already we have discussed Atanaska one mini project. That is your ATM class. Right. I guess you were there in the class or not? I'm not sure. But we already have discussed one mini project. I will show you multiple. Actually, I had given you for two more mini projects, but what I am going to do in one class, right? I was, but I thought it will be separately. I will discuss one more mini project, not a problem. So once the Python is over, so we are going to see 2 to 3 projects, right? Anyone else has any other questions to ask? Please go ahead. So now Python, I guess, in 1 to 2 more lectures, it will be over. Then we will switch to Python for data science. Before that, we will be having some project sessions. Sajal says new guest lecture. It will be soon. Don't worry about that. In some time. इतने जल्दी जल्दी गेस्ट लेक्चर थोड़ी होता है. Right. Adanaska says when Python will be uh, uh, over and move on other topics. So Python by next week it will be over, and then we are going to move for other topics. Right. Right. Python for data science. There we'll be seeing about the different libraries and all. So that would be all for this lecture, guys. See you in the next lecture. Anyone else has any other questions to be asked? Please go ahead. Right. No any questions? Then let's meet in the next lecture. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.